Don't have to worry about it.
All right. We are live. And that's probably going to give us feedback. So we're on a little, Cash, we're on a little delay here. So if we're looking at you goofy, that's why. But if you don't look at anybody anyway, you're always on the radio. You'll be fine with this. So Mondays with Mick. Mick and I are here. We're back at Shenanigans, but we are in the back room of Shenanigans. It is have you ever been here? It's kind of the patio.
Yeah.
And so we're enjoying it back here. Little bricks.
It's when you watch like an NFL game and they're up there in the booth and it's a cold day and they're still wearing their coats. That's kind of the environment I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe by the end of the game, by the end of the show, we'll have our sweatshirts off and our coats off because we'll be so into this interview.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like, oh,
there we go. And I want to touch base on this real quick because I can't do it justice right now. I had an event happen on Saturday. And if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen that I got a huge gift. Higher Power Sports got a huge gift. And like I said, I can't do it justice right now. So I'll just, Higher Power Sports was gifted a brand new pickup by First Dakota National Bank. And again, I this is a couple days past and I still can't put into words, or I can't even really think about it without getting very emotional. Let me just tell you, it was unbelievable. The gift itself was unbelievable, and the way they did it, they shocked me and left me speechless, for a few days here. So if I'm speechless on it, it's
stunning deal. Absolutely.
So again, we'll talk about it next week when I have some time to kind of gather myself, I guess. So if that's all right with you.
No, that's good.
All right.
That's good.
So let's get to our guest. Our guest, I mean, if we run out of words, this guy's not going to run out of words. Noah Clair joins us. Noah, where are you joining us from?
From Brookings in the basement of my house. Well, not my house, my roommate's house, but cold, chilly Brookings. It's definitely at the end of January. So.
And Noah, you've been on my show before, but why don't you reintroduce yourself, where you grew up and, what you're doing now.
Definitely. Yeah. So I get asked where I grew up a lot, and I'm a South Dakota kid, grew up in South Dakota, very blessed to grow up in South Dakota. My mom and dad aren't originally from here. My mom's originally from Alaska and my dad's originally from Texas, or Louisiana, Texas area. They both got their master's degrees and both ended up in Alaska working for the U.S. Forest Service doing research. My dad, got to meet a couple of the presidents back in quote unquote his day, the old days, Ronald Reagan days. That's probably not very old to guys like you, Weeds and Mick, but not saying you're old, just your experience and wise and all that good stuff.
Getting off to a slow start here,
pal. And then, their plan was they want to get away from the cold weather. My dad was a Southern boy, want to get away from the cold weather. And they were driving back from Alaska down to Texas to visit my grandma and grandpa before my parents got married. And they happened to go through a little town in South Dakota. They took the back roads, wanted to, make it more of a enjoyable trip, and ran to a town called DeSmet. And we got out there, and my mom always tells us I was probably 5 or 6. And we drove through it, and immediately we're at the park. And I grew up in this little town before we moved to DeSmet that we lived kind of outside town. So, little boys, when you're out playing trucks and you can just go to the bathroom wherever you want. And we were at Washington Park in DeSmet, and I just thought it was normal to do that. My mom was like, no, you can't do that in town. And that's where they knew we were supposed to live. It was just a beautiful town. And we grew up there, played a lot of sports there. Had a really enjoyable life there. My mom coached basketball there, was a special ed teacher. My dad ran his own business. And I can't emphasize enough just how much, credit I have to give to my childhood, making me and the man I am today, and especially the people I was involved with. I'm sure you guys have heard Jim Altberg's the AD at Harrisburg High School. He was an integral part of my childhood. And, if you would ask me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have said that because I really wasn't a huge fan of the guy when I was growing up. But little did I know as I got older and into my adulthood, just how a crucial part of my adulthood he's been. He's been one of my biggest supporters up here in South Dakota, and I owe him a lot, and as well as my parents and a lot of great people, and really good childhood. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling here, of course, already. Got to Brookings, long story, live here, really blessed to live here as well. I've had God, like I said, I can't give enough credit to God. Like Jesus has really blessed me with a lot of great people because I'm far from perfect. And if it was just me by myself, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the great things as people or make the journey special. I work in radio here. If you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be working in radio, I would have laughed at you. But I feel really privileged to be able to have a small part in helping promote youth athletics in South Dakota, because athletics are such an important part of my life and were an important part of my life growing up. And then I do a bunch of different things. My hands are in all these little type of honey pots. I do that. I'm really proud to serve in the Bobcat Backers. It's a booster club here in Brookings that helps grow youth athletics and promote our school and our athletics and empowering kids and giving them tools to be successful. I'm really proud of that. And then I coach youth football on the side. I really take a lot of great pride in that, helping young people find love of the game. And then another small thing a lot of people may not know about me that I do, and I don't claim it very often. It's not something like I get paid for or anything like that. It's more of just out of a hobby, just using my connections. I'm a big connections guy. Like I think connections and people are much more valuable than money because they last a lot longer. And number one, and number two, I just love people. I've gotten into this quote unquote business, and I don't want to call it business because it's not that, of helping collegiate athletes, guiding them in their next step, and I don't say that in terms of like a father guiding a son. I'm more of a brother guiding a brother, whether it's guys up here in our area up here, like SCSU, USD, this area, or guys, all across the country. And this year alone, I'm not going to name names, to help probably 7 or 8 collegiate athletes with their agent process, their hiring process, their agent, whether I've been in conference calls with their families, just I feel like I have the right questions to ask, and I'm not afraid to ask the hard questions to some of these agents. And also I love people. I love helping people find, get that dream. And if I can help, I love to help. And I've been really blessed to meet a lot of good agents, know a lot of good agents, whether it's in the contractual side or whether it's in the marketing side. And so being able to have that and do that's one of my favorite times of the year, because I get to do that. And I would never claim that. I don't really talk about it hardly ever. This is probably the first time I've actually talked about it openly in an interview, because it's not something I do for like credit or I do for money. Something I do out of love. Maybe one day I'll do it for money, but right now I do it out of love. And to be honest, I get asked a lot, especially by my friends that don't live here, like, what are you doing in South Dakota still, man? Like, when are you going to leave? And I'm not going to lie, as a young man, like there's an attraction to want to get to warmer weather and into larger cities. But I say, if you have a really good thing going, why would you ever want to leave it? Unless God opens the door for me that I feel very secure going to, I intend on being here for the long run. I love my job. I love my boss. I love the people. And as you know, Tim and Mick, people are what make the journey worth it. So.
Well, obviously you have a lot going on.
Not as much as you guys, but.
Well, you do. And let's talk about the event that you have coming up in June. And, maybe give what the event is. And, let's just start what the event is, and then what, how did it come about? Because this is your second year doing this.
Yeah. I'm still in awe of how Zach Zinner called me the other day, former SSU running back, and he was laughing with me on the phone about it. He's like, Cash, he's like, the typical camp an NFL player hosts, usually get 80 kids, or lucky to get 80 kids at their first camp. And that's, he said from his time with the Lions and the Cardinals, that's what he found. He said, this first year, I don't call it my camp because it's so much bigger than me, but this first year, the camp we were in last year, we had almost 500 kids. It's called the Cash Money Youth Skills Camp. It's on Facebook. And that name, obviously, a buddy of mine knows Mike Singletary, and when he heard about these like Cash Money Camp, like, well, how's that name? Like, it stands out for sure. It started because years back, one of my best friends, and I'm just proud to know him. I'm so proud of him. Like, it's my brother. His name's Pierre Desir, plays for the Buccaneers right now. Just unfortunately lost on Sunday, so I'm a little recovering from that. But he runs a free youth camp, and I've always noticed all these youth camps around the NFL, they get hosted and they're free. But or they may not be free. Either way, there's not enough of them, and I feel like those camps are really important for young people, not only to get kids interested, but to keep kids going in the right direction. I think it's a really important aspect of youth athletics we're overlooking is these summer camps, because now we've become so, and I'm not trying to speak in a negative way here, so money greedy that we always are trying to find ways to charge kids for everything, and I think that's such a wrong avenue to go about things. I think if you want to do extra things like AAU, then it's okay to charge, but I mean the basics should be free. That's what keeps kids in the right places with the right people. And so me and Pierre had a conversation 3.5 years ago, and I was like, we should do something like that in the Midwest, and we should make it the most energetic, most legendary camp ever. Let's do it. And then COVID hit. So God blessed me with a pandemic. And if that sounds crazy, God blessed me with a lot of time to be able to think through a lot of things. And I said, I remember the day we really became real was when the logo got made. It's okay. Well, we're going to do this. I called my mom. I said, Mom, we're going to try this. And, a 24-year-old, 23-year-old kid at the time, 23, planning a camp, like probably a little unheard of. I was like, well, if it works, great. If it doesn't, well, shoot, we're going to go down swinging. Let's swing. And God blessed it in a way that I still can't quantify, like much like you, Tim, just the way God works. We had over 500 kids. We had over 80 plus college players, an NFL coach who's going to eventually be in the Hall of Fame one day. We had several NFL players and coaches vouch for it they couldn't make it via in person. So they did via like screen time. It was phenomenal. College coaches, NFL players, it was nuts. And the main goals of it were the three main pillars, is to bring legendary energy, glorify Jesus, and show kids they're loved. And if we can bring all those three things together, that's great. It went phenomenal last year. And again, I can't quantify if you weren't there, I just don't understand. There'll be nights I wake up and I'll be in tears. Seriously, this happened like last week where I'm just so proud. I'm like, dang, man, like, God, thank you. So we're going to do it again this year. And when I tell you it's gotten like double the size, it has. It's gotten crazy. We're partnering with Samaritan's Feet. And if you don't know what Samaritan's Feet is, it's an organization that basically helps raise shoes for kids across the world who don't have access to basic shoes. Like there's over 500 million kids right now in the world who don't have access to like basic clothing articles like shoes. And that to me is wild. It's 2022. There's no way kids should be going barefoot. That's crazy to me. And they do that by bringing the gospel of Jesus with these shoes. I think it's so cool. The CEO of Samaritan's Feet, Manny Unami's jumped on board. We have a very big goal of raising over 1,000 pairs of shoes at this year's camp by donation. So like Tim, I saw your post the other day. If anyone has any pairs of shoes, get a hold of me. We'll take them here in Brookings. We're going to break records. We're going to do it crazy. Bring crazy energy. We're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. And we've had some big names commit to coming to the camp this year. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Last Chance U, the basketball show, the football show. The head coach of the basketball session, John Mosley, strong Christian man. We've had a lot of conversations. He's coming. He's flying out from Los Angeles. My buddy Pierce coming back. And we got a couple other guys that right now I don't want to say their names because they're about 90% committed. But it'd be pretty awesome. I think they're going to come. We have a lot of college coaches come and do it. It's going to be crazy. We expect numbers in terms of kids to double. And it's free. And it's going to be freaking awesome. We're going to bring crazy energy, and we're just going to set the world on fire for Jesus that day. And I told my mom before, like, I feel my goals feel clearer in this camp than anything else in my entire life ever has. Like I would lose everything for this camp. That means a lot to me. And God's blessed us. We're raising, it's free. So I'm having to raise all the money, and I've never been good asking for things. It's not my strength that much. I just do it myself, pay for it myself. So that's been a challenge. But God's blessed with great people that have had hearts that want to serve this. And I always say, Mick and Tim, I am the most imperfect person. God uses broken people. So I never want anyone to think that I'm coming at this like, look at me, I am running a camp. I am holier than thou. Everyone should view me as just the pinnacle of excellence. That's not it at all. I'm a broken man. Like God needs Jesus more than anybody, but God uses broken people to do his work. And I'm just a tool. This camp is a result of a lot of great people. And I'm going to stop rambling now. It's awesome. It's free. The link to sign up will be on the camp page probably around March. Like the camp page at Cash Money Youth Skills Camp on Facebook, and that'll give updates on it. We'll post videos here soon, and I fully expect both of you guys to be there. That's the crossing toes hope that you guys will be there, but it's going to be awesome. So
Yeah, Mick, I told you he had some energy, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of this guy? I mean, at his age, we weren't trying to bring 500 to 1,000 kids in to do a free camp.
The fire is lit here, and he's lighting other fires too, is what I'm thinking of. It sounds, I mean, you've inspired others to get involved in this, obviously, to have it be as big a deal as you have. That's pretty cool. I don't know, man. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would ask you exactly who are trying to do similar things or asking your methodology on this, going, what's the deal? Where's your magic here? Which
Dave,
is
man,
the ultimate compliment.
the magic is Jesus, man. I'm not saying that to be like corny, like, oh, there goes that Christian guy talking about Jesus again. But like, it really is. The magic has nothing to do with me. Like, I mean, anyone who knows me, there's a lot of great coaches in this area that I'm friends with. And like anyone who knows me, like Tim knows me, like I am not perfect. And like, my friends will tell you that, like, I make mistakes. And I think don't look at me in this, because I think, this is where I came to last year. It's because of also Jesus, but my friends, like, look at my friends. Like, these are, I mean, whether it's SSU guys or guys flying in from Utah or Tampa Bay or Seattle or Washington or I mean, anywhere, there's guys that come all over the country for this. Like, that's more indicative of their servant hearts. Like, I'm just a small little piece that got it going by God's grace. And there's been a lot of great people that have jumped on board, whether it's Coach Stig at SSU or Coach Schweigert at UND or whoever it may be, the guys from UND that are coming, or Northern State, or it's a lot more indicative of the great hearts of my friends. And that's why I'm just incredibly proud to know the people I know, and especially proud of the friends I have, like whether it's Pierre Desir or David Jenkins or Jacob Brown or Deshaun Kelly or whoever it may be, or any guys around here. Like I'm fortunate to have the friends I do. God's blessed me with some of the best men ever to help guide me in my walk and keep me accountable to my walk with Jesus, but also to keep me accountable as a man. And when I mess up and say, hey man, that ain't it, man, come on now. Like, and that's, I think, more indicative of my friends than me. So don't give me too much credit here. I'm just an energetic little hyperball that's out of control some days.
Well, you mentioned a couple of things that resonate with me, and Mick knows this. First of all, doing things is awesome, but going out and asking for help for it is difficult. And Noah mentioned that, but it's amazing, like you said, even through us broken men, imperfect. I had a lot of texts on congratulations this last few days, and my text back was usually, I don't know if I deserve it. I hope Higher Power Sports deserves it. Or it was, it's amazing what God will do for a broken, imperfect person. And, just like you mentioned, but together, with hard work and accountability and understanding that our sins are forgiven, we can go out and we can do great things like you're doing with this camp. And that's got to be very meaningful that at a young age, you have these friends that are coming along with this journey with you.
My dad, so Coach Mosley from Last Chance, he was a strong Christian man, and he was telling me about why he chose to come to this, because I thought he was going to out on it. He hadn't talked to me for like 2 months, and I got a call last week in the middle of the morning saying, "Hey man, how you doing? I'm sorry, I've been bad to get back to you." And I don't know if you guys are fully aware of who Coach Mosley is or whatever. Great man. Anyway, he told me basically he just loved the mission. So I called my dad that night, and I said, "Dad, like I said, Dad, I can't even put into words, like, this camp, like, this is just crazy. Like, all these people involved. Like I said, I don't know. This is never what I intended it to be. Like, this is awesome." I mean, and whether it's former SSU guy, and it's just been nuts. So many different guys from all across the country flying to Brookings in their own dime, like, to come serve at a volunteer camp to give back to Jesus and to show Jesus to kids, and like, and to raise shoes for kids to be great. And my dad said, and this is what really stuck with me. He said, the reason it's successful is nothing that you've done. It's the reason it's successful because you're not afraid to say the name of Jesus. You're God's leading it. And if you continue to put God first, God will bless you. And that's kind of thing I think is with your truck weeds, that's the thing I got from it. Like, God blessed you with that truck and the blessing of that truck because you're putting him first. I think God blesses those who put him first. I mean, I'm not trying to sound corny, but I really believe that.
Yeah. Again, another conversation I had last week when I was having a conversation about a vehicle, was, besides my vehicle is the most important thing, my most important tool in my toolbox, so to speak, except for the guidance that I get from my Lord and Savior. And, and then for that conversation to happen on Friday, and then what happened on Saturday. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not a coincidence. And it's not about me. It's not about it's about all those things, just like your camp. It's about that day, but it's about all those things that those kids are going to learn and hear, and what they're going to do when they go outside, when they get done with that camp.
Amen. No, I mean, I don't want to like tell too much because I don't want to sound like I'm tooting the horn of the camp at all, but I'm just proud of the work. Like last year, like we had so many messages from, I'm going to quote specifically her mom that had messaged me like probably a couple weeks after the camp. And basically she just said, hey, like, I just want you to know my kid, we put up to the camp that day and he was scared to get out of the pickup because he gets really relentlessly bullied at school. And he was scared to get, he saw all these kids up there. And she's like, he got to the camp and he had the time of his life that he got back. He's like, when can we do this again? And like, there's pictures of him running around. And one of the pictures has Jake Winicky from SSU Jackrabbit chasing him. And he's just full of smiles. And then another picture, he has my buddy David Jeggs, plays at Utah now. He's picking him up on his shoulder. And I mean, if you go on the camp base page, you can find pictures and stuff and videos. Like I remember the day after the camp, I sat in my room, like it was June 28th, 29th, and it was middle of summer. And I remember I was bawling. Like I bawled for days, not because of like, I was sad. I mean, I was sad it was over, but because like to see how God is working and not only working in these kids' lives, but I fully believe that camp is also in these coaches in college, these college kids that have no idea. They think they're coming there to work on kids. God's working in their life too indirectly, and they might not know that, but I think that God worked in every one of his lives. And I think you're never a finished product. Even Christians, we're still we're works in progress. We're ever progressing, and God has to continue to work us. We're never going to be finished, at least on earth. And that's my big prayer is that God, like last night I laid down, like God, please bless this camp, but please keep using me, like keep growing me, because I need it, man. Because man, there's days I wake up and I'm just mad. Some days I'm like, man, I freaking hate getting up. Some days I don't want to get up right now. I'm like, I have a short temper some days, and I always talk the way I'm supposed to, and I'm like, God, keep working on me because dang it, man, I need it. But it's, I don't want to go too on because it's not about me and my camp. That sounds so selfish, but really proud of the work at the camp, really proud of the way God's working in it. And I fully believe this year we're going to blow that thing up for God. Jesus is going to be screaming from the mountaintops, and we're going to bring crazy energy. And it's going to be a day that is going to go down and is one of my favorite days of my entire life. So
that's pretty cool. Yeah. Mick, we've had a lot of people doing a lot of good things on our show, and here's Noah doing just again, this isn't his job. This isn't this is outside of his job. This is extra work and all that. It's pretty cool to see a young man doing that.
Absolutely. And citing examples of the things you do and how these things have inspired some others, and where you're reminded all the time that, okay, I am making a difference here. I am making myself useful. That when other people hear that, it's like envious, and it doesn't matter what they're making, how much money they're making, or how successful they are. They have to appreciate that you are a part of something like this, where you're rewarded for these things, and you're witnessing things, and you're seeing kids benefit from this. It's really cool to hear your story about that.
I've had several people ask me, because I'm only 20, I'll be 25 in May. Oh, that's scary. 25. Geez, where did time go? And that sounds weird saying that. And I feel like I'll be 25 in May, and I still not like, I'm not financially set. Like, I understand life. You got to make money, even though I don't like making money. Like I love loving on people and just, living life. And people have asked me like, no, are you going to turn this into a thing? You could travel around the country. And like, I was talking to former Niners quarterback, Jeff Garcia, a couple weeks ago. And he basically said, are you going to turn this into a thing where you can like go to different cities and just do cash money camps and like make some, I'm like, I never thought of it that way. Like, but no, like, because that to me takes away the whole purpose of why I started in the first place. Like, and the reward for me, like after the camp or even throughout the middle, I remember last year sitting in there several times that I wasn't moving, surprisingly, and not talking, where I would sit and just oversee and look at like different corners of the camp, like whether it was at like my buddies from Utah or Northern State or SSU or my Tampa Bay or Seattle. And I look around, I see all these different guys, all different parts of my life that know me and they don't know each other and they met each other, and seeing kids. That was my reward. Like to see, and then like the pictures of like 150 kids kneeling and praying alongside all of his coaches from different parts of the country. That was the reward. That was my salary, if you will. And, you know, and like I've talked about with many people is I may never know like how that affected certain kids. It may have planted a seed, and 30 years from now, it may come up again. There were some that affected right away I could talk to. There was a couple of coaches that actually came to know the Lord the next week after the camp. And none of that has to do with me. It's all God, of course. But yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, it's a lot of stress planning it, especially with now there's an expectation behind it. And weeds, you know, like now you have an expectation, you got to like almost want to live up to it. And so I take great pride in that, but there's a lot of stress in that now as I'm getting the planning stages are already beginning. But also I'm just like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the camp. I mean, I go to bed at night thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it, ate lunch thinking about it. And that's not exaggeration. I'm thinking about it all the time because it's my one thing a year I really love. So.
Well, you know, as you go on here, we talk about you also, you know, you have a job, you are on the radio. You know, let's talk about that real quick. You know, was radio something that you thought about growing up, or how'd you get into the radio?
No, actually, and bless all the radio guys' hearts when I say this, because I don't mean to offend anybody. I always thought radio dudes were corny as heck growing up. Like these media guys, and Mick, no, I love you to death, Mick, but I was like, man, the media guys, like, dang, like, I don't want to be a media guy. Those guys look corny. Like they're corny. And that's just like when I was like probably 7, 8 years old. Like I see the guys on TV. I'm like, man, I hate Chris Collinsworth. I don't want to be this. I never thought of that. Like I always wanted to be a coach like my mom. Like my mom and dad were big influences in my life. They were both really good athletes and really good people. And I was like, dude, I want to be a coach. Like I love giving back. I love impacting kids. And I never really thought about how it was going to happen. And, you know, as I got older, it kind of happened. And, you know, and I still get to coaching football, and coaching is what I love, because I love impacting kids, and especially in the game of football, that's where I feel my brain is most adeptly suited. But it's probably because of maturity and age. I've gotten to the point now where I'm not rushing anything. I'm kind of like, you know what, God, when you're ready, I'm ready. But right now, your job is for me to be right here in Brookings doing my thing here. And if you want it's my time for me to move, you'll provide that. If it's time for me to say, you'll let me know. It'll be clear to me as long as I keep you first, God. And I take great pride, and I can't say it enough. Like radio is great. I'm still growing it. I'm not the best at it. I know. I mean, when Dallas Cole was getting sick, I kind of got moved into that spot. And so I was he taught me a lot, but I was kind of shoved in right away with this kind of having to learn on my own how to do play-by-play. Like my first time ever doing play-by-play was a live game. Like I didn't know one with me. Like I've had to learn on my own as I go. And I'm not perfect. I'm not good at it. And especially that first year, I got a lot of nasty messages in my inbox from people that were not happy with me. And that was a lot of fun. But I'm growing, and I take great pride, and forget the radio part. I take great pride in promoting local kids and local athletics. I'm the play-by-play guy for Sioux Valley, and I do Brookings sports as well. And me and Jason Adair have had a lot of conversations about this. And in terms of my style, like I'm never going to be the guy that tells you what color shoes a kid has on, or how many years ago. Like that's Mike Henrikson's and your guys' gift. You guys do such a good job of like listening to Mike talk. Like he'll tell stories. Back in 20 years ago, his dad knew this guy. I'm like, and it's fun to listen to his stories, and I enjoy that. But problem is, I'm not 50. I'm 25, and so my style is going to be like, you know, it's radio. So if people can choose between listening to radio and TV, they're going to go to TV. So if they're going to listen to radio, dang it, I'm going to make it the best radio broadcast ever. I'm going to bring crazy energy. You're going to feel the energy of the arena. You're going to know the score of the game. You're going to know who has the ball. I may not tell you the exact percentage of what they're shooting that night, because I may not remember that. I'm going to try to, but dang it, you're going to feel the energy of the game, and you're going to want to be a part of it. And it's kind of been boom or bust. Like last year I was in Sports Center for a call with a full court shot, and there's been a lot of crazy calls. I mean, there was a dunk this year. My voice squeaked. I'm like, dang, I thought I was past maturity at this point. I thought I was past puberty. My voice still squeaks, dang it. But it's been a lot of fun, and I can't say it enough. Thank you. A huge thanks to my boss and people at Brookings, and Brookings Radio and Sioux Valley for believing in me enough to like give me a shot, let me grow, because I take such great pride in the kids of this area and promoting them, and it's a lot of fun. So
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Uh,
That would be this is a nightmare I've had where all of a sudden I'm forced to do play-by-play in a sporting event. And having been to probably, I don't know, 3,000 sporting events in my life, something like that, it would still, to this day, it would be a nightmare. I wouldn't be able to do it for 2 minutes without people knowing that I have no reason, I have no trying to do this. So I really admire that, especially this first time you did it. My goodness.
I think and easy now with comments, because I think it depends who you ask. Like, no, do I feel I do a decent job? Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I mean, I've listened to a lot of my calls. I've gotten better progressively. Even though I know a lot more about football, I enjoy doing basketball a lot more because it's more fast paced. And I mean, it's Sioux Valley games are on B93.7. And if you ask Coach Vincent or any Sioux Valley people, I mean, from what I know anyway, they really like it. I enjoy it then. But I'm sure if you ask other fans, I mean, I've gotten some nasty messages this year, like, man, you're too energetic, blah, blah, slow down. And that's the thing I really want to work on, is being a little slower. But the best advice I was ever given, it was by Jason Adira last year. He probably doesn't remember this. I remember it. He said, don't change your style wholesale, because that's the lose who you are then. Stay true to what makes you you. And not everyone's always going to like you, but that's the way you're going to call a game. Make it the best game ever, and have fun doing that. So that's kind of adopted. And come hell or high water, I'm just going to keep rolling, man. Like, it's all you can do.
Well, yeah, and great advice for life, you know, just go out and do it the best you can. And the people who are coming with you will come with you. And the people who don't like you, well, that's their prerogative. You can't make everybody happy in life and all that stuff. So,
Amen. No, that's not to interject again here. I feel like I really wish I could hear more from you and Mick. I feel like I've dominated this, but and that's one thing I've really learned the last year or so, probably, because I'm a people pleaser. I love to see people happy, and like I thought, okay, after this camp, Noah, like anyone that doesn't like you, they're going to understand you have a good heart. So they may not know you, but because like they may not know you and they may not like you, but once they see you're doing this, they'll like you. And I've come to realize, and this is probably going to come with age, that as much as I want to be super kind to everybody, I want to love everybody. Not everyone's always going to be your biggest fan. Not everyone's always going to like you. And as long as you like keep your intentions pure, and you go about things in a humble way, and you keep God first. And I'm not always perfect at that, but then that's all you can do. And just continue to love on people, no matter if they reject you. Just love people. That's easier said than done. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm trying really hard. So,
and as we wrap up here, let's go back to the camp and maybe just again give the details. And we'll put the website on here and all that stuff. And obviously they can contact you on Facebook and all that, but just kind of go through the details and where they can get involved, so to speak, with how can they get their kids signed up.
definitely. Well, the camp is last weekend in June. It's June 25th. On Facebook, it's at Cash Money Use Skills Camp, at Cash Money Camp, whatever. My name's Noah Clair. If you want to look at my page, add me as a friend. I have no problem guiding people toward it. It's also an Instagram page at Cash Money Use Skills Camp. There's no link to sign up yet on it, but because it doesn't come out until like March. But if you click the page, you follow the page, you like the page, we're going to post like videos from like different testimonials from different players who are coming saying, hey, could you get signed up? That's the best way to kind of follow along with it. We're partnering with Samaritan's Feet. That's a big deal to me. I'm really proud of that. When the camp comes, we're asking anyone that can. You don't have to come. You don't have to bring a pair, but if you can bring a pair of old shoes, donate them at the camp, and we'll take them from there. But our goals, at least my goal, I've set forward now, is we want to raise over 1,000 pairs of shoes, because that way the shoes will get recycled and redone and made into new pairs of shoes for kids in Kenya, Ghana, Haiti, wherever it may be, and we may never see the full impact of it, but there'll be some kid across the world that'll be thankful that Jesus blessed him with a new pair of shoes. And I mean, if you have any questions, contact me 605-233-0449, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. So
awesome. Mick, anything before we wrap up here?
No, I'm just grateful that I got to hear this story. God bless you for your efforts here. And the enthusiasm part is definitely what, if I'm writing a story about our conversation today, that's where I'm starting. So you're a fireball here, and you're slowing down right now. And the energy is, I mean, people's lives are better because of the energy you got here. And that's what's got me going right now.
And go ahead.
I appreciate. First of all, I appreciate that, Mick. Man, obviously, I've read a lot of your articles growing up, and so I already kind of knew who you were. And I please don't. I don't want to sound. Don't make me out too good, man. I'm broken. Like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm being too good of a guy here. The only diss I have on Mick is he's a USD guy. Like I have to say, go Jacks. But I still love you, Mick. I still love you, brother. But go Jacks.
Well, Noah, thanks for joining us. And I want to end with this. Two things. One, you mentioned you're a young guy going through this journey and all that. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, right? You're going to have ups and downs in life, and you're doing great things. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect or anything like that. The second thing, I'll have a goal to come to your camp with 100 pair of shoes. That's going to be my goal. And, hopefully able to get you to reach your goal of 1,000 pair.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys for having me on. And as I look back in this last half hour, whatever it's been, I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to listen to this again. Look like an airhead. I've been talking so much. I wish I would let you guys talk more. Dang, like you're the wise elder statesman of the bunch. I should have listened to you, but
you did awesome. And we will talk to you soon. And as always, if we can ever do anything for you, you just let us know. Okay.
Likewise. Thanks, fellas.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Really
See you
cool.
guys.